we've been talking about issues with PFF just not being the nicest to us there overall, as they've been running down their, group by group rankings of all the position groups there of all the NFL teams. And latest one is the secondary. And again, they were not very kind to us, guys. Now, I put the picture there, obviously, of Deonte Banks because kind of tells you what they think of us. But
yeah,
we're ranked 24th in the league, guys. 24th. Now, I'll say this. I think I think they're not as wrong in this one. Like, I've given them a lot of crap.
I was gonna say like they're pretty close.
Yeah. Now, does this have potential to be a much improved group this year? Yes. We'll get that in a second. But, I feel like this is one of those groups that we can't have extremely high hopes for because there's been issues there. Again, we're ranked 24th out of 32 teams. PFF said the Giants' two highest graded secondary players in 2024 were rookies, cornerback Andru Phillips and safety Tyler Nubin, to bolster a secondary that has struggled for several years. The team signed safety Jevon Holland and cornerback Paulson Adebo this offseason. If the young players continue to develop and the new additions maintain their strong play, this unit could emerge as a surprise in 2025. And that's why I agree. Like, what they're saying is dead on. And again, we've given a lot of crap because they haven't been the nicest to the Giants. It's a very, very legitimate statement. Like, the two strongest rookies, the two strongest secondary players were Andru Phillips and Tyler Nubin last year. And they were rookies. And they did go out and get two solid free agents. But you don't know how those guys are going to gel. You don't know how much development you're going to get in these rookies now going into their second year, as they're now sophomores here. We don't know.
And it's also like, listen, a lot of people, there's a lot of times that everyone gets a big hype around, the freshmen coming out because you don't know what to expect from them. They come out, they have a great year, and this is all position, not secondary. You have a great year because no one knows what you can do, and no one has tape on you. They don't know how to get around. And second season, sophomore year, guess what? They got a full year of tape on you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how you play, see what you move, see what if you did double step to your right or to your left, and they know how to juke or twist or whatever. So like, this could be like either they could either get better or people could figure out their game and they could not be our best secondaries.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful. I think definitely with this pass rush, I think that's one thing I think they should have considered in this whole thing. The pass rush obviously should be better this year. It was already pretty good last year. But you throw that into it, and that's going to help them
100%
get better. And then you look at, again, history tells you that typically a player is better in the second year than they are the first year. History also tells you when you put two good players on a group that can only consist of four, it should be considered probably an upgrade. But there are question marks because, again, you don't know how a player develops. You don't know how Paulson Adebo will be coming off that, broken leg. I mean, that's got to be a big thing there. And then sometimes you also got, Jevon Holland been kind of hot and cold at times at that point there. So, there's definitely question marks. I think, like I said, I think they gave us a legit rating, but I think they kind of gave us like a worst case scenario kind of thing. And then like, okay, well, we might be wrong because of this and this. We'll see what happens.
It's also kind of going off last year's stats too. So it's
like, right. Yeah. And I see, Deb has got the question here. Says, is PFF based solely on stats or is it opinion too? So PFF is basically like, you remember the game, the movie Moneyball?
Yeah.
Like, oop, we lost Rob again.
Oh God.
There you are. You're like a talking circle now. But it's basically like the Moneyball of football. Like, they just look at advanced metrics and that kind of stuff, and that's where they kind of base things off of. Now, that being said, an article like this is also opinion based because they're projecting what they think is going to happen this year. So it's a little different in that regards. But for the most part, when you look at the ratings they give, those are 100% metric based. So, but I'll say this: they say that, and I'm kind of giving the answer of what PFF would probably say if you ask that question to them directly. But at the same point, don't tell me you can't look at a play and have at least some opinion of it and have that somewhat change. Like when you're trying to look at like who missed this block, you don't know the play. You're just guessing to a certain degree. Like let's say you have like John Runyon and Andrew Thomas, and somebody missed the block. And you're not sure who. You're probably going to say John Runyon. That's life. So that's like I said, it's not foolproof by any means. There's definitely probably some I wouldn't say opinion, but bias maybe in there. Probably the best way to put it. Unintentional or not, probably in there.
Yeah, I mean, PFF's like better for like receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, but when you talk about offensive line, secondary, it's like where the metrics harder to like record like pressures.
See, I like it for those. It's funny. I'm the reverse of you. I like it for the line in the secondary because there's no stat that tells me how good someone is at blocking. Really, there's no stat that tells me how good someone is at covering a wide receiver.
But sometimes PFF, what they do is
huge, yeah.
Like, all right, no, so say like Ryan's, so to say, right, Phil missed a block when his play design was to go after, or sorry, miss a tackle on a receiver when his play design was to blitz, and now he might get a hit on PFF because he missed a tackle on a receiver that caught the ball.
Yeah,
like that goes.
Oh, I get it, and there's no.
So like there's some of that is into like an eye test of seeing what's going on. So there's a lot of stat base because of what's going on the field, but it's not really going into the dynamics of every play because you can't. That's just
that's what I'm getting at. Like it's not a perfect system, but it's a system, and it's probably the best system that's out there currently for a lot of the stuff that we're trying to look at. Like I said, especially for offensive linemen, especially for blocking tight ends, for example. Like how do you judge a blocking tight end compared to a guy who's a pass catching tight end? If you look just at stats, the pass catching tight ends look amazing. So that's what I'm saying. There's different things, and again, safeties, corners, even linebackers when they're covering. There's no stat that says that. So it's nice for that. But again, it's a tool. In the end, I trust the eye test more than anything else personally. But that's when you're really getting into opinion. It's nice to have something actually back that opinion up. Jay says, "Is Paulson a Adebo?" He says Adobo, but it's Adebo. Like Dallas is
Adobo's great on your burgers.
He makes plays because he's consistently targeted. I wouldn't say that as much as the fact that he does make plays because he takes chances, and sometimes those chances are going to burn you. Like that's definitely part of the equation when it comes to him. That being said, the other thing is also he was playing a lot of times a wide receiver too, because Lattimore was there in New Orleans, and he was definitely the CB1. So what he's done so far is somewhat, skewed, I would say, to a certain degree because of the fact he was CB2. And that's why I'm saying you got to be careful when you say the secondary and give high expectations right now, because there's still some questions. And the sad thing is, to a certain degree, we did this to ourselves, though, but we had to pay people a lot of money this offseason that there's questions on. That's usually not a good thing to have to do.
No.
Jay says, sometimes Rob starts talking for a bit. It looks like he forgets what he's talking about mid-sentence.
I'm Spinner.
He says, he said PFF is decent. People complain about it, but their highest rated players' teams are the best. The worst is the worst. There are inconsistencies. Exactly. I said there is no way to know, how to create a system that doesn't have flaws and doesn't have potential for being wrong. That's just what it boils down to in the end. But like I said, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just if you're looking for perfection, you're not going to be very happy.
And that's it too. Like in the day, like a lot of play on the field is yes, stats go a long way, but there's also a lot of eye test that has to go on to what you see. Like Eli Manning, like probably a quarter of his interceptions were just bad at balls that just went wrong.
Yeah,
but It's not going to show up on the scoreboard. It's not going to show up on PFF.
Oh yeah,
that it was the receiver's fault for just not missing the ball, or just trying to catch the ball, or just not being able to catch the ball.
it's almost like there should be a almost like an ERA in that regard. You know what I mean? Like how it's like an earned run average, and you don't count the unearned. You know what I mean?
That would be interesting.
That I don't know how you do it per se. You'd have to figure something out there. That's for sure. But it'd be interesting. Got to give a shout out here to the Giants content creator, the Giant Topic. Always like to give a shout out to people that are there. So again, another good channel to check out there. Jason, is Rob streaming from the vacuum store's storage closet? Well, he's not. He's in the pantry actually.
Yeah,
because he couldn't stop off at the Golden Corral. Oh, we got the Golden Corral in the show
in
today.
the cafeteria.
Oh yes, vacuum sales and Golden Corral. Okay, we've now completed all the topics we have to hit at some point today.
You gotta go home.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the Goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip,
then you will love the full episodes too.
Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.